Alright, welcome back everyone to the 25k sub special, the $1,000 show match between Clem and Elazer. Now, before I start, I just want to say this is part 2, so if you want to watch part 1 without being spoiled, I'll give you guys a few seconds before putting the score, so you guys can check out part 1 first. Anyway, in the bottom right, playing for Team Liquid, we have a Liquid Clem. And in the top left, also playing for Team Liquid, we have Mr. Elazer. Now, if you guys don't remember what the format is, Clem basically has to play builds from my YouTube, and he's only allowed to use each of them once. So he's already used 3 different of my builds. And now I'm curious what 4th Terran School / meme build he is going to do. I'm very curious. Now the score is 2-1 in favor of Elazer. I think in the first set we had a very long mech game that went Elazer's way. Then Clem did a very cool Maru CC first 2-1-1, which he kind of owned Elazer with. And then he tried to play a very classic uThermal build, a reactor marine drop into the Hellion run by into BC. And sadly Elazer did kind of destroy him in that game. So I guess the classic uThermal build is the worst one out of the test so far. But now we're going to see what he is going to do next. No, actually, a question. Or, well, I might do this anyway, but I think you guys might enjoy it if I actually put the links to the Terran schools of the videos that Clem is using in the description. So if you guys want to use the builds that Clem is using, you can actually check them out easily like that. Now, so far, there's nothing crazy yet. It's a Reaper Expand, and let's see what he's going to do. I think, how many builds did I actually send him? Let's see. I think I sent him about 15 builds that he could use. Now, there are a few things I didn't allow. For example, I did not include my Cheese to GM series in this because I would not really want Clem to do 9 different one-base all-ins when there's so many like cool games to be played and stuff, right? And above my head, all the way on the top there, you can actually see the standings at the moment. If Elazer would win every game from now on, that's basically what the scores would be. Elazer would take home $825 and Clem would take home $225. And of course, Clem steals 100 from Elazer for every map he wins. Now, let's see what's going to happen here. Is there going to be a second gas? There's not going to be a second gas, which means that Clem is going to go for a 3cc build. Now, he still has a few 3cc builds left to do. I actually have a bunch of 3cc builds on my channel. He could do 3cc Banshee. He could do 3cc 2-1-1 into Drilling Claw Mine Drops. That's going to be really cool one if he does that. Now, really good Reaper control here. Kills the Zergling. Besides that, he could also do 3cc with Blue Flame. There's actually a bunch of builds. Now, there's a few funny things I want to mention as well. Is that after Clem played Elazer in the last game of part 1 of this show match, Elazer actually messaged me and said he legit thought he was playing me for a second. Because Clem did a build that really only I do pretty much. And I thought that was extremely funny. And Clem also messaged me that he's having a really good time trying out my builds. He's a little bit sad that he's been messing up a lot. Those are his own words, by the way. I think he's been doing great. But he said he was a bit sad he was messing up a lot, but he's having a lot of fun basically playing like me and playing like the POVs, you know, the POV analysis I've done. Now let's look back at Clem's basically what he's doing. So he did go for a starport and a second gas, which means it's probably not the Blue Flame build, and it's also not the 2-1-1 build. So what I would guess is that this is 3cc Banshee, maybe. I had a build, I uploaded it, and I remember that video was a bit of a humble brag because I just casually uploaded me beating Sero with the build. And that build was 3cc with Banshee and like a mass hellbat attack. Now, I actually think this build might not be as good against Elazer because Elazer loves to make a lot of queens. Elazer does not scout a lot. I've mentioned it many times. Elazer does not like to scout. He usually keeps his Overlord far and then sends in one Zergling. But the Zergling usually doesn't get to see the inside of the base. And Clem is so fast, he's not going to let that Zergling in. But Elazer does always make 9 blind queens. So I think if Clem is going to go for a mass hellbat attack, it might actually be tough to break Elazer. And Elazer, as you can see, already has the lead in this best of 9. Just to clarify once again, I don't have any other better way to put it than best of 9, but it's not quite a best of 9. All 9 games are played, because all 9 games are basically about $100, so every game is worth it. Every game could basically be a big online cup win, right? Every single map. Now he's keeping more and more Hellions. I think he's probably going to add an armory soon. He's not... Yeah, there's the armory. He needs to keep making Hellions with this build, though. Like, he's only making 1 at the moment. You need a lot of Hellions to make that work. Now, the Banshee is coming in here. Clem has just been snarking around with these Hellions. Obviously, like I said, Elazer has a lot of queens. He has a pretty easy time defending those. He has 3 queens on each side and then probably 1 queen on each hatchery. 2 more finishing, and that's going to make that 9. Now, he's going to do a bio follow-up. That's normal. Let's see if he has enough to make this work, though. I think this is going to be rough, to be honest. And at this point, I basically want this series to be as close as possible. There's actually a potential tie if Elazer wins 5-4. Does that make sense? I think if Elazer wins 5-4, they might get the same amount of money. I feel like in that case, I might do something funny, like a very quick one-map challenge show match to decide who gets like 50 more than the other or something. I mean, if they both get 500, I'd be really happy for them, of course. But oh, here we go, the mass hellbat timing. Elazer's not bringing the queens back yet, so he could actually totally dive into the mineral line here. And there's also no spore. If I was Clem, this mineral line is juicy. You could actually... Oh, a little bit of a miscontrol the Banshees there. He does target the Banelings, which is really nice. I would not fight these queens. Get out of there, Clem. Get out of there. Queens are good. He could have gone for the drones all this time. Oh, that execution was not the best there, I'm afraid. Especially because there's Lynx in here. Oh, he actually morphs the Hellbats in time. He needs to pull the SCVs with these, I think. Oh, it looks like Clem is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Did he get the drones? He did not get the drones. One of the Banshees died, one of them is still alive, but this counterattack is doing so much damage. Though he did make a few more Hellions, so he is gonna survive just fine. That is really good news. Without these Hellions, he could have actually been in a lot of trouble, but now he's gonna survive. But once again, Elazer defending his early attack perfectly. And if I may criticize Clem, obviously Clem is a better player than I am. A really good way to deal with the mass queen problem is to actually send the Banshees into the main, draw the queens to the main, and then attack at the front. I think in this case, he also could have tried to run into the mineral line faster and got some damage. Like, I definitely saw potential here, but still. Now, a big reason why I made a guide on this build, I think you can see it pretty clearly. He just did a massive Hellbat attack, which it kind of failed, let's be honest. Oh my god, if you look at the units lost here, it pretty much failed. But the follow-up still looks pretty good, you know? He already has 5 barracks, he's getting his second factory up, he has 1-1. And I'm not sure why. I like to describe it as the flow of a build. My favorite builds ever are builds that have a good flow. So the follow-up and everything just feels quite right, you know? And for me, this was the build. And I can also see it in Clem's gameplay, because once again, this attack, it was a disaster. And still, the game doesn't look horrible. Like in the last game of the last, or the first part of the show match, his opening build kind of failed. And he just looked completely dead. But here it's not really the case at all. I would definitely still give the lead to Elazer. He's about to make 8 mutas. Oh, he's just gonna make Banelings instead. And he's gonna make a bunch of Banelings here as well. Okay. I actually kind of respect the decision because it's a little bit safer. Though I kind of feel like he would have survived anyway. Like, this is really not the most threatening attack ever. Now Clem is gonna load up into those medevacs, of course. There we go. Sacrificing the Banelings, but actually trading them. And this attack, I think, was pretty good for Clem. No mutas were made. Now he does need to be careful for this. Oh, this mine is in such a good position. Look at the mine, guys. Wow, there we go. There's like 5 Banelings down. Obviously, there's still enough Banelings to go through. Combat shields and 1-1 are going to finish pretty soon. Clem's going to take another trade here and escape. And the supplies have pretty much equalized. Well, Elazer is still a solid 10 supply upright. But Clem's upgrades are a little bit faster. So I think the game looks very playable. Now Clem needs to pay attention to not fall into the trap. Yeah, he's out on the map against mutas, guys. Mutas are not that common these days, so most of the time you play against Pureling, Bane, or Hydras instead. If you're out on the map against mutas, so luckily this time it's only 5 mutas and he has boost, it's very easy to lose 2 medevacs for free. And I'm glad that Clem avoided, because very often that could actually be a GG moment. Like if you lose 20 supply for free, 2 full medevacs, 20 supply, it could actually be terrible. Now it looks like we're gonna go into a normal macro game. And this is exactly where I want to see Clem shine, because this is the kind of game where I would feel like I'm in a rough spot, being like, I would say this is slightly be guiding as Mutalisk when Zerg has all the control on a big map. I feel like on short maps, I can usually make stuff happen, but on these big maps, it's just hard to come back into games like this. And even if you're not necessarily dead, like Clem is definitely not dead here, I still find it very difficult to win these. And I want to see how Clem does it. Like, I'm not saying, of course, I don't know he's going to win yet. This is actually a live game, trust me. But if someone could win this, I would think it's Clem. And I want to see how. Now, you can see, because there's mutas on the map, he's not harassing too much. Elazer, obviously, macroing really well. But yeah, he's actually going up to 100 drones. Like, I know his economy was good, but he's actually going to go up to 100 drones, guys. And that means he's going to have a lot of Banelings. He's actually going to snipe a few mines here, I believe. Not the best target fire yet. Let's see, mines are going to go down. And with this, Clem just wants to take a good position. He's going to snipe the base in the bottom left as well. And this trade was definitely good for Clem. It's nothing groundbreaking yet. Let's see, Elazer actually jumping on that army. Both of them has 2 small armies, so they Why they do that is basically that they can control the map easier. Like, you never want to have your entire army here, and then either 500 Banelings run into this base, or a drop runs into this base. So you always want to split your army a little bit like this. Like, you can see Clem roughly has 25 supply there. Now, ooh, actually, one of mine is going to shoot, I think. There we go. Actually, it shot a Zergling. I thought it was going to damage all the mutas, but it didn't even damage the mutas a little bit. Not even a scratch, I think. Now, Elazer believes he has enough units, so he's going to go in there. This is always a little bit risky to do. The splits are going to be really good by Clem. He's pulling away the workers, even splitting these units one by one. And it was not exactly a failed attack by Elazer, but that was a very impressive hold by Clem. It could have been way worse. I feel like he could have either lost all the Marines or all the SCVs. That was very nice. Now, Clem did a little bit of a mine drop here. This mine has 9 kills and the other one has 3. So that's definitely pretty good. Now, of course, let's remember that Elazer still has 86 drones. So, as you can see, he's probably not too sad about losing 12 drones, but it is a good move. I feel like, oh, that's actually a rich gas base. I forgot about that, guys. If you look at the income, Elazer has a lot of gas, and there's a freaking rich gas here that's giving... yeah, that's basically 2 gases in one, so that's actually for just 3 workers. That's giving him a lot of gas. Is he gonna save that medevac? I mean, the trader is actually not that bad, because the Thor's shooting the mutas, that's nice. And now Clem is really splitting his army in 2, as you can see. As long as he has enough medevacs for this, he can always do this. Let's see. He actually splits those mines so they don't die to some Banelings. That's very cute. And now Clem is going to take this base in the bottom. They're basically doing a massive trade, because Elazer's getting this rich gas base for free. But if Terran gets this gold mineral base, that could actually be very problematic for Elazer. Then you could see Clem even go up to like 11 barracks or something crazy. A normal barracks count, in case you guys are wondering, is 8. 8 barracks is the standard for macro games. But with a gold, you could probably go up to 11. Now, let's see how Clem deals with this. These baiting attacks have been very annoying by Elazer. Like, Clem keeps having to run away the base. And even here, this just feels like a chaos. Like, Clem is not able to get all of his stuff together. Runs the baitings into the Marines too. Very well executed by Elazer. And actually, this attack is kind of doing a number on Clem here. Clem is now pulling his army back, but then Elazer is going to go in this base. Is he going to blow up the planetary? He wanted to. Ooh, Elazer might actually have found the attack. I didn't think this game was going to end anytime soon, if I'm being honest. I thought it was a late game. But Elazer made so many Banelings, had a really successful attack into the 3rd. Is now killing 30 workers in total. Does even get the mine there. And it's going to be really hard for Clem to even stabilize here. Now, Elazer is rallying a few units through Clem's army here. And he is bringing his army back. But if you look at the supply, it honestly tells the tale. Elazer is 60 supply up. And we might be in a position where Clem goes down 3-1 in this series, guys. Which would be, you know, very hard to recover from. Especially because I feel like Clem has been using a lot of the best builds that I have in the list as well, you know. And that is it. Elazer takes game number 1 of today and game number 4 of the show match, just like that. Alright, guys. Game number 5. Clem is in a little bit of trouble, guys. And I can't help but feel a little bit guilty because he's using my builds. As you can see on top, Elazer, as it stands, would clearly take home a lot more money. Now, this is... I'm actually surprised this map was picked this late, because I feel like this is a good map for Terran. This is a good map for Clem. A good map for him to get it back to 2 wins, at least get it a little bit closer. Because if this is a 4-1, guys, like, I know... Because I'm talking with... That's what I like bringing to you guys as well. Because I know these days I'm a content creator, but I have probably 10 years of experience as a pro gamer. And I know that even if every map has money, if you get to a point where you're down like 4-1... it becomes very hard to still play your best. Like, because you always go into matches like this, like, I want to smash this guy, you know, I want to take home a lot of money, I want to go 7-2, 8-1, stuff like that. So if you end up down 1-4, it's very easy to just have your mental shattered, you know. So I hope Clem can get it together. It still sounds like he's having fun. He did say he's getting owned, that's what he told me. So we'll see what he's going to do here. Now, Waterfall, like I said, pretty good Terran map, I think. If we... Let's see. A build I could, for example, see him do. Like, I have... Like I mentioned, I have the 3cc 2-on-1 into the fast drilling claw drops. Now, the drilling claw drops part is probably not the best for the map. But Clem should be very comfortable playing a 3cc 2-on-1 in general. Ooh, he's gonna go for a reactor first. What could this be? He already did the 6 marine drop. Actually, one of my favorite builds to do on this map is to play reactor first 3 racks. But I really feel like that's not a build you would see Clem do usually. Let's see if it's actually going to be a 3 racks. I'm going to go kind of crazy. Like, that would be very, very cool. Now, Elazer still just having a good time playing his 9 queen opener. Like, Elazer probably if we're being honest. I really doubt Elazer went to my YouTube to check all the builds that Clem could do, right? So I think he just wants to play his standard over to avoid dying to any kind of weird BS, which makes a lot of sense. Now Clem is actually going for the second barracks, but the Overlord is going in. Oh no. This could be a really fast... Guys, this Overlord could die. Okay, he's actually not going to scout the... He didn't see the... No, he didn't see the reactor. Wait, Clem also didn't see the Overlord. This was an interaction, guys. Elazer could have gone in, scouted the 3 racks, but lost the Overlord, which would probably be really good for him because Clem would never play a 3 racks. Like, I'm gonna ask Elazer what it's like to play against this because Elazer, you automatically play the player. It's just how it works. It's very hard to play the race. You usually just play the player. So Elazer has to play Clem playing like me. So is he playing like he's playing against me, or is he playing like he's playing against Clem with weird builds? You know, I'm actually not quite sure about that fact. Here is the Elazer Link Scout. Actually, he's sending out this Link early because there hasn't been a Reaper. Now, what Clem does with his Marines here is very important because if you have too many Marines here, it's obvious that you're just spamming Marines. If you don't have enough Marines here, the Zergling can get in. So he showed 3 Marines. There's an Overlord here, but like I said, Elazer probably doesn't scout. And I wonder if Clem could catch him off guard. Like, I'm very happy he's doing this build, by the way, because this is actually a build I would play on this map. Like, he's not just playing like my YouTube, he's actually playing like me right now. I've done this in practice. I can humble brag again and say that I've had a successful game against Sarah with this build on this map. I did lose against someone else I played on this map with this build. I don't quite remember who it was. It might have been in like Homestory Cup or something, but I'm not sure. But yeah, let's see how that goes. I definitely don't think Elazer is going to be expecting this. Since Elazer knows I do weird builds, I think Elazer would probably be expecting maybe like another weird Marine drop or something like that, you know? And not necessarily this strategy. Now, I do have to admit, this strategy was very popular at some point because Cure, one of the top 5 Terrans in the world, beat Zero with this in the best of 7 by just spamming this over and over. And then for a while, it was very popular. So it's actually a decent chance that Clem knows how to play this. I'm a little bit worried though, because I feel like so far, he's been losing the games very early in like the execution part, you know? Like with the hellbat attack, he got too far behind. This is gonna be sick, by the way. Elazer might not see this, guys. He is waiting for the drop. He's gonna see 4 Marines, 5 Marines is what he's gonna see. What does he do? He cancels the Spore. Good move. Oh, that's actually a very cool detail that Zerg usually forget. He canceled all the Spores. And I think he's probably going to morph some Banes. Elazer supply blocked and he has 51 drones. Guys, I'm not exaggerating. Elazer would die, I think, if Clem goes for this. But he probably needs to scam. There we go. He's actually going to dive the Queen. He's going to kill all the Banings here. Oh my god, this is an attack, guys. And he's not just going to kill the Banings. He's going to kill those Queens. Though the creep is actually insane. He could probably maybe... No, he's not going to get away with those queens. 3 queens dead, 4 queens dead, a lot of Banes dead. Now, is he going to go back to turn around and attack this base? Yeah, he's going to kill the drones. Wow, this attack has been fantastic, guys. Finally, a build that works. We have done it, guys. I don't have to feel guilty anymore. He's going to kill even more. This attack's been going crazy. Watch the target fire. He's going to do it. There we go. Elazer didn't even try. He knew Clem would target fire the Banelings. Clem did my build on this map. This was very accurate. This is exactly how I play. And he gets another dub on the board. Let's go. All right, guys. Game number 6. The score is... 3-2 in favor of Elazer. In the bottom left, playing for Team Liquid, we have a Liquid Clem. And at top right, also playing for Team Liquid. No way, it's Elazer. Now, it was a little bit of funny banter in between the games. Clem keeps taking like these 1-minute breaks to check out a video. So at some point, we were ready to start, and Clem is like, 1 minute, I'm watching a tutorial, smiley face. And then after that, Elazer asked me if I have all the Terran builds that exist on my YouTube. And I was like, well, not all, but I gave him like 15 builds to use. And then Elazer went AFK for like 2 minutes, and Clem was like, wait, did you watch his build so you know what's coming? And Elazer was like, I didn't. But now we're gonna see what's going on. Guys, I don't know, but I'm feeling it. This might be the Penguin Brothers map. Could it be? I feel like we're gonna see Penguin Brothers at least once. There's 4 games left to play, and I just have a feeling it's gonna be on this map. Now, do I encourage that? I'm not sure, because this map is actually pretty big. I would rather see it on a smaller map, because then it's actually broken. No one knows that it's broken. It's a secret on the YouTube, guys. Only we know that it's broken. But the Penguin Brothers will be really, really strong on a small map. We'll see. I would still be so excited if we actually get to see the Penguin brothers. Now you can see the standings are updated. Right now, Clem is going home with 325 and Elazer with 725. If they would split the remaining 4 games, they would actually go home both with $525, which is an insane amount of money, guys, for so much like this. So I'm very happy I was able to put this on. Very exciting stuff. Now Clem is going to go with a Reaper expand. Elazer obviously with the hatch first. I wouldn't be surprised if we would see a pull first at some point, because Elazer did ask if proxy racks were also on my YouTube, and they are. So Clem could proxy racks, but I did mention before that, first of all, Clem does actually not really proxy racks ever at all. A lot of servers are surprised by that, but I totally get it. For me, what proxy racks is if you're scouted, you're just kind of dead. And if it's unscouted, it's like, maybe you have like a 55% chance of winning, you know, but the odds are not usually great. I do think proxy racks is insane if you play someone that's like way better, because then you might still get the same 55% chance of winning if it's unscouted. So that's definitely a really good build in those scenarios. Let's see, the Reaper Micro, is it as good as usual? Obviously, that's for a Zergling kills fast. He might actually get a second. Let's go. All right. Now, I'm very happy that Clem won that last game, not just because of the style he chose. Oh, that was cool. Link Micro by Elazer. If you noticed, he was just clicking it around, and the reason he did it was so Clem couldn't right-click on it. But like I said, I was very happy Clem won the last game, not just because he played my style, but also because of the mental warfare. Like, if he went down 1-4, I would have been very scared for him. But now it's close and tight, and it feels like it's anyone's series, so that's great. Now, he's going to go for a 3cc. There are a few 3cc builds left. I mentioned the 3cc 2-on-1 into the Drilling Claw mine drops. There's also, there's also the Blue Flame opener yet left. So it looks like he's going to go for Blue Flame Hellions into Bio. In a lot of builds, like I mentioned, he's actually allowed to choose whether he goes Bio or Mech. I think I actually mentioned that in part 1, if you're only watching this part. But for this one, I actually clearly wrote Blue Flame into Bio, because that just makes it cooler. And besides that, I think Blue Flame into Mech really sucks, and I don't want to hand down any free losses here. Oh, he actually... I feel like Elazer could have killed that, but the micro was really good. Now, this build, honestly, I think is a really good choice against Elazer because of the lack of scouting. So, it is very unlikely Elazer actually gets wind of this until you run into his base. Now, he does have more queens than usual, which means that he could still defend it despite not scouting, but if you actually get past, if you kill the links and stuff, it could be very tough. Now, once again... Oh, this is actually really funny to me. Look, this is so meta. Elazer scouts so little with his overlords that Clem put his marine on the low ground to kill the ling. That is actually 100% meta. I'm not kidding. It's any other Zerg, you have the marine here. But since Elazer doesn't scout with overlords and only scouts with a Zergling at like 4 minutes, he actually put his marine on the low ground as like a blind counter. That is actually a very cool adaptation there. Now you can see Blue Flame is on the way. He's gonna... The way he's doing it is honestly expert level. He is fast enough to use all the Hellions from the reactor, but at the same time, he's keeping all the Hellions from this factory at home. So Elazer has no chance to count the Hellions and be like, wait, that's 1 Hellion too many. This is probably a second factory. He's not giving him that opportunity. So now he's actually going a little bit too early, I think. Blue Flame is not going to finish for another like 20 seconds. I don't think he wants to reveal those before Blue Flame. Ooh, this is actually a little bit of a mistake here, I'm afraid. Like, Blue Flame is not finished for another 10 seconds, guys. Now, he's already gonna dive. He's probably gonna kill a lot of workers. Let's see if Elazer gets an Evo block up. Doesn't quite get it up. Now, he kills... Oh, 6 workers. Actually, not bad. Oh, he revealed the Blue Flame there. But Elazer does not have a Baneling Nest. 2 more Hellions are gonna catch up. And I think he's gonna try to go for round 2, but with Blue Flame. Now, yeah, even though he got 6 drones, I do think it was a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, he's gonna YOLO past. And these Hellions are going to be really good against the Zerglings, guys. They're going to kill them very fast. Really good micro by Elazer here, though. Using the queens to tank while surrounding at the perfect time. And Elazer, once again, gonna come out a little bit ahead, probably, of the early game. And I think it was... Yeah, that mistake of going before Blue Flame, I think, cost him a little bit. Because if you go with 3 extra Hellions with Blue Flame, Zerglings are not doing anything against that guy. So... Yeah, I think that was a little bit rough on the execution, but he still got 6 drones at least. Elazer made a bunch of extra links. Well, he already lost those. He did make 12 more for some reason now, though. And now the starport is going to come up. There's actually a few follow-ups to this build you can do. You can actually go Blue Flame into Drilling Claw Mine Drops as well. That's a build Kira did against Raynor. Kira is actually... Oh, wait, guys. He could totally go in here. He doesn't know. Oh my god, he could have run straight into that base. There were only Zerglings waiting there. Okay, look at the micro here. Elazer's coming in from the back. Pretty good shots with the Hellions, but the surround is good enough. A few Hellions are slipping through. He's gonna try to target a few more drones here. Doesn't actually get that many. And alright, I mean, he kills 5 drones. I do think that was a missed opportunity. I mean, he doesn't see what we see, but we see there was no queen, there were a few links, there was nothing here. If Clem clicked into the natural there, I think he would have gotten really far ahead, but he probably just assumed there were 4 queens there waiting for him, so obviously that is just fair game. And Elazer, he keeps impressing me with the defense. He does a defensive build with the queens, but so far he hasn't really messed up, and I think, I want to say in at least 4 out of 6 games so far, he got like a pretty definite lead from the early game. So that is really well done by him. That speaks to his early game ZVT skill. Especially because Clem, even though he's playing with builds he's not comfortable with, Clem is an absolute micro god, guys. Like, Clem is going to make stuff happen in the early game pretty much always. Now, this game does not look over by any means. There's a 4CC coming up, a second factory, 5 gas already done. And keep in mind, these Hellions are also going to be blue flame hellbats. So they're going to be insanely strong. He's clearing the creep here. I do have to add that this map, we talked about map balance a bit before. This is typically a good Zerg map, so... Well, Clem is actually just going in here like crazy. Let's look at the splits. Wait, all the banelings are gone? Is this attack just working like that? How does that even happen? There's no banelings left. He's gonna click those. I know my Clem. He's gonna click those too. Guys, it's Clem micro magic, I told you. How did he just own him like that? That makes absolutely 0 sense. It looked like Elazer was in a perfect spot. He had Baneling speed. He had a little Banelings. Now, these Marines are getting very low health, but I think we might already be beyond the point of return. And just like that, Clem wins 2 games. This game was very abrupt and sudden. I actually want to watch that moment back quickly. Because, let's be honest, it really didn't look like Elazer was going to die here, right? There's 9 queens, or maybe 6. How many queens are here? 6 queens with a lot of transfuse. He's morphing 15 Banelings, and this is like, what is that, 16 Marines or so with 4 Hellbats. Now, watch what happens here to the Banelings. I actually want to see. They all crash. Oh, the Hellbats actually basically one-shot them. Then, by the time, the second Banelings weren't morphed at the same time, so by the time they finish, the Queens are, you see the Queens are backing off, which makes it very easy for the Marines to target those. And then, there's 4 more Speed Banes. A worse Terran picks up and leaves. Clem clicks them down with ease. And super surprisingly, Clem just kills him like that. I really never thought this game was going to end here. I thought it was going to be a macro game with Elazer having a slight lead. But just like that, it's 3-3, which is awesome. Guys, that was it for part 2. Part 3 is also coming out in a few days. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys for part 3. Adios.